You ain't moved that much though. Check it out.
With sex. So-called leaders is prostituting they sets. No surprise that the world is infatuated with next. Not spitting silent for nothing. Revolution is stopping like Louis on the trumpet of your heart. When your cousin crashed your mama car. Absolute chicks, he wasn't slumming. Absolute true. Never paid to start one. Can I kick it or can I kick it? Beat ninjas on a track, I'm a shredded terrific. Obituary over how I kill him with the rings. Niggas say, ooh, the bitch is permanent just like a kitten. PTLG, you gotta fuck with us. AKA the trash rap gang diggers. Robert A.
Down like the loud on the blunt. Alright? Let's get to it.
Church. Alright.
Welcome.
Welcome. Let's break it down. You know what I'm saying?
To the first live podcast of Let's Break It Down. Now, before we get into that, it's not usually gonna be like this, but
Facts.
We brand new, we trying out something new. We got pre-recorded footage, we're gonna put that out. But we wanted to get something out immediately to you guys, and so we figured like this is the best way to do it.
Facts.
So, boom.
The channel, let them know YouTube when we set
Yes, sir. We're setting up the channels and everything. Right now, we're playing it from our personal accounts. But we definitely we got the Let's Break It Down Instagram already. Let's break _ it down. Everything common spelling.
Fact.
So you can go say that, you know what I'm saying, as soon as this podcast come off. But I'm gonna send a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, invites and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna follow y'all too. So
Facts.
Follow us back. Here we go.
Let us
First
know.
show. You know what I'm saying? We always take suggestions on what topics we're gonna talk about. I wanted to post the topics, but I didn't get a chance to. That's the one thing I forgot.
That's cool though.
So
we freestyling.
how was your let's do an icebreaker, man. How was your day?
My day was good. My day was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? The weather was a little funky, but I got all my errands done and all that.
Right?
Yeah,
it's like no sun today.
That's a good way to put it. I literally walked my dog to Central Park. Boom, was not sunny at all.
For sure.
I was like, bang.
Okay.
But let's break it down. What we gonna start it off with?
We started off with Amber Guyger.
That's easy.
Amber Guyger's situation.
Right. I think everybody should know about the Amber Guyger situation, about the white female cop that went into the gentleman's house, the black gentleman's house, and killed him. Obviously, y'all need to do a lot of your own research if y'all know everything, but the trial and all that just went down. Everybody should know about that. We seen the outrage that a lot of people had online in different aspects, period.
Well, we're going to break it down. So let's give them all the details and all that. So the lady apparently she was driving her car back home. She had just worked a 13-hour shift for the Dallas Police Department. The other thing that people may not know, she's not just a regular police officer.
Facts.
She backs up the SWAT team. So she's actually like technically a SWAT team member. And those people, they handle situations differently. You know what I'm saying? They're very aggressive. Every time they're going in to like burst through the door, and anything can be behind the door. So that's where her training lies. I'm not trying to give her excuses, just stating the facts, breaking it down. So she's on the phone with her quote unquote lover, and she's driving up the driveway. She goes to a floor above hers. She goes to a floor that's right above hers, walks to her apartment, walks to this man's apartment, Botham Jean, thinking that it's her apartment, right? And she could hear him, apparently what came out in the courts is that she could hear him before she opened the door.
Gotcha.
So her intent was to kill as soon as she opened the door, and then after she realized, this is her defense.
But then she realized, or he opened the door for her?
Well, she put her key in the door, she realized the door was unlocked.
Right. The door was unlocked.
The door was unlocked. So she walks right in.
Got you. Okay.
She walks right in
okay.
with the intent to kill because she can hear somebody in the apartment. And so that's the case. She ended up killing this man. And of course, as you said, the outrage. So she got sentenced. She got convicted. They only sentenced her to 10 years. But because of her defense and the fact that when she testified, which most people don't do, when they're on trial, she testified and just gave this amazing gospel about how sorry she is for this situation. And so because of that, now that we've seen the jury, some of the jury members talk about it, they felt like she had just made an honest mistake, and that's why they only gave her 10 years because they had to convict her or something. Because this man was just, he wasn't doing anything that even was anywhere near where she felt like she needed to be threatened for her life. The only thing was she thought she was in the wrong. She thought she was in her apartment.
In her apartment.
Yep. So, the new details is The update, and I don't mean to make light of the situation because it's very, very serious, but one of the people who testified for the prosecution, the next door neighbor to Grotham Gene, actually lived across the hall from him.
I don't even know if people even know this yet. But go ahead.
Okay, so I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say Darren Walker, but that's also a safety for the Dallas Cowboys, so I don't want to misconstrue. But I feel like his name is Darren or something like that. He was found murdered yesterday or 2 nights ago, night before last.
Right.
He was found murdered. It happened in his apartment complex as he was getting out of his car.
This the same week.
Fishy.
The same week. That all this, excuse my French, fuckery goes down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As far as with the brother, the judge, the other court officer, I forget their name.
Talk about their
name, but
let people know what that is. What that's about.
I mean, I thought that was
people saw it in memes and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people even actually saw the video, like seeing him actually forgive them, forgive her,
right?
And XYZ, and the jury members actually said that the reason that his testimony weighed a lot in their decision on giving her 10 years.
Absolutely.
That's what they said. His testimony. So to me, I don't really know what's going on with that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's real fishy. And I don't really play the fishy business. I keep my eyes open all the time. Like, all the time. You know what I'm saying? Especially for the, like I said, quote unquote, the fuckery. We don't do that over here. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that over here. But, yeah, it's pretty convenient and kind of funny.
Yes.
That happened in the same week. It almost relates back to the dude that took the footage of the Eric Gardner situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He filmed it, and within that week, him and his girlfriend got locked up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was mad fishy. The same way this is mad fishy. He got killed. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about this brother at all, except the fact that he got killed. But I don't know his background. This, that, and the third, which I feel like they're gonna, you know what I mean, they're gonna side with the media instantly at some point. And you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. That's incredibly fishy to me and crazy. So I don't know.
So when the story first came out, let me not say that. When the story first came out, of course, it sounded fishy to everybody. I'll say that just because I led with that. Now, when the story first came out about what actually happened in the courtroom, there was all this outrage from black people. Like, what is this? It's disgusting. Da 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 da. One of the things that I said in my mind, especially when I saw the brother, one of the things that I said in my mind immediately is that some white supremacist or some white supremacist group, you know what I'm saying, that's possibly either on the Justice Department or in the actual police department, that's high ranking, got a lot of pull, threatened both the judge and the testimonies of people. I believe even including their lead prosecution witness, the prosecutor's lead witness, the guy who lives across the hall. He also was walking into his apartment as the shots rang off. So he was actually in the vicinity and can hear what was going on behind the door. And he also says, which is different than Amber Guyger's defense, was that there was yelling back and forth. So she didn't just walk in and just shoot him, according to him. She walked in and had a whole conversation where she could have realized at that point that she wasn't in her own apartment. And so that was his defense. That was his testimony, rather. And now this guy ends up dead, right? Which was going to the point. And I wish we had talked about it the night that it happened and even did it live then, because everybody would have heard me say, somebody got to those people. There's no reason to be outraged. These people are afraid for their life. Even including the judge was afraid for her life. That's just what I felt. I felt like she was even crying, not because of the situation, the fact that she had to preside over this case and she got that call. That's just what I think, because I overthink things and I think deeply. But the fact that this guy was murdered after that, right after, like literally days, right outside his apartment, broad daylight, unknown assailant, still had no suspect. It's fishy.
It's fishy.
It's very fishy.
Word.
And the families come out and said that, he wasn't in the streets. He worked a regular, worked a great job, legal job,
Wow.
and he wasn't really that type of kid. So nobody will be actually looking for him.
Wow.
So it sucks, man.
That sucks. That super sucks.
But we also got to remember
That
the
sucks.
Michael Brown situation in St. Louis. A lot of the people that stood up for Michael Brown in that time are now dead. A couple of other cases that don't come to my head right now, but we've seen this before. Where somebody stands up and talks too much about this. We've seen the people who just report what they saw.
Right.
If it doesn't go with the narrative, they end up getting whacked. So we dealing with something like really, really deep.
It's some kind of greater power that we need to. I don't want to say I think we got to figure it out. But we got to come to some kind of agreement, some kind of pact, some kind of
consensus.
Because I mean, how long are we gonna keep watching this over and 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 over again? And then, you know what I'm saying, we still party within the realms of our lifestyle. I'm like, to me, that's an oxymoron. It's real stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? There's real stuff going on. Like, don't get me wrong. You don't want every day to be gloomy and bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to think about that. But at the same time, for us as a people, that's an ugly truth. Like, in order to fix something, we got to really be set on fixing. Like fully set on it. Fully set on it. You know what I mean? You know my other approach.
That's why I think we can go a whole hour just off that, but we got other topics.
Right.
But I will say to what you said, one of the things that you said is that everybody doesn't want to live a gloomy day, and that's exactly where it lies. People need to distract themselves from the reality, and they have so many distractions that they give us. We don't have to be really committed. We can say how upset we be and all this, but we usually like shouting at our TV screens and shouting at somebody who's on our side about it instead of really being out there in the streets and getting some things moving. However, as we said before, that's taking in a lot. What is their consensus about? Who's drawing up a constitution? What are the laws? What do we stand for? What do we not stand for? What are the repercussions for people who don't abide by what the Constitution states? But yeah, we'll probably touch on that on a later topic, on a later date. Yeah, that's a deeper conversation. But
you gotta get
in my eyes, with the Amber Guyger situation, white supremacy reigns again. And she definitely should have got a harsher sentence.
Well, of course.
But one of the things about Texas, and you got to know how Texas is. Like, Texas is like its own state. Like, back in the day, it's its own country. Back in the day, they used to ask for annexation from
but this go everywhere, though.
The rest of the United States. But no, they really live like they're really a state. They really don't deal with federal things too much. Like, they don't let federal law determine what they're going to do within their state. And even how it is. It's like some parts are like the Wild Wild West. Other places are urbanized, but they still got that cowboy mentality.
Got you. This is a bigger, greater topic. We're gonna chop into this.
Absolutely.
Way much more later on.
Definitely.
But
so let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. What was what's popping in the news? We was talking about Antonio Brown.
Talking about Antonio Brown.
We had a nice little chop about Mr. Antonio Brown.
So we're gonna take it over to sports.
Take it over a little bit. Yeah,
But it's really dealing with the same thing. That's the funny thing. When you break it down. So Antonio Brown has been in the news a lot lately as far as on the sports side of things. Because, before this recent incident, but I'm going to build up to that. He was going against the new regulations of the new helmets.
The new helmets.
Right? So he basically held out.
You want to start from the beginning? Because it is a little crazy within the realms of
even the beginning.
crazy
things. I was just going to brush over it and then get into what just recently happened.
Okay.
Because I think it's important to the story. So Antonio Brown goes through this whole back and forth with the NFL. While he's going with this back and forth with the NFL, he's not attending practice for the team that has signed him. Right? So you're not reporting to work because you have an issue with the new helmets. Right? So